Good morning, this is Sheila and welcome back to my channel. And as promised, I am going to do a tutorial on the paper bag photo journal that I made. And I did a couple of changes. Well, actually I just did one change. As you can see, this is really chunky. And I stuffed it and I just like went overboard. So what I did, I added some space in between the bags so that you can add stuff and it won't be as chunky as this one came out. So I'm going to put this aside, and this is called mini paper bag photo journal. That's what I called it. And I also will have a project sheet available, and I'll give you the link to that, and you can print that out. And that's, I'm not charging for that, it's free. I will have the link to that down below. So this is the sample that I came up with, and I only use 5 pages just for this tutorial. You can use as many paper bags as you want, but you have to account for the size of the spine. And if you use bigger bags than what I'm using, you have to account for the size of the pages and the tags and so forth. So the size of the bag, I didn't even write that down, did I? The size of the bag, I believe that I'm using, I think it's 4 and 5/8 by 8 and 5/8, I believe. Yes, just about 8 and 5/8. And so it makes a good size mini journal. It's about like 4 and 3/8 by 4 and 5/8, and it's like almost 1.25 inches spine. Okay, so I used 5 paper bags to make this one, and I'm going to show you the inside here. Let me get to, okay, so here you can see I left it, I didn't color it because I wanted to show you. I added like 1/8 of an inch in between so that it accounts, you know, lets you have a little more room inside to add things. And I think it came out pretty cool how I did that. So the same as the other journal, has pockets, it has some tags, the bigger tags. Then it also has the little small photo mat that you pull out there. So this is just my sample. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. So you're going to start first with your paper bags, and there's 5 paper bags, and all you do is, I'm just going to fold them with this part on the inside. Fold it in half, increase it. I don't know if you guys can hear my air conditioner in the background. It just turned on. Sometimes when the house is really quiet, it sounds so loud. Alright, so. And I'm hoping to do this whole thing in one video. If not, we'll do 2 videos. So, okay, so here's your bags. And I always like to place one of the fold things here one way, and then the other one go in the opposite direction, you know, so upside down, I guess, so it opens that way. I mean, you don't have to do it that way. I just like to do it opposite. Alright, so this is what I mean. I have this one on this side, then this is going to fold over, and then you're going to have this on the opposite side. So that's how I have mine. You don't have to do that. I just like to do that. Let me see, did I do that right now? Now I'm all confused. It's going this way. Okay, so now that your bags are folded, you're going to take 4 pieces of cardstock, and they measure 4.5 by, this is 1 inch and 1 2/8. 1 inch and 2/8, is that right? Okay, and then you're going to score on your scoreboard. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch and then 3/4 inches. And then you're making that little gusset. So your piece is going to look like this. Hopefully you can see it. Like that. So you're going to need 4 of those. And I already scored mine. I'm just going to fold them again just to... Now if you want your even more room in between, you can enlarge the piece and you can figure out the math. Okay, so I guess I'll do it this way. So you're going to take your bag and lay it down, and you're going to put some glue. You could use double-sided tape, but sometimes in warmer temperatures that might make the thing fall apart. So I always like to use glue. So you're going to glue one side, and you want this facing into the book. So your piece is folded over like that. So you want this gusset facing inside your book. So I'm just going to turn this way, and I'm just going to line it up right to the edge, as close as you can get it. Okay. Yeah. Now, I'd like to fold this part down like that, because now your next bag, make sure you got the opening side facing the opposite. And now you're just going to put some glue on this side. And line that up as close to the edge as you can get, and make sure it's even with the other bag that you just put down. Okay, so then when you open it up, okay, so now you have that little opening. My bags are a little off, but I'm not too worried about that. So now you see the little opening. So now you're going to continue to do that. Glue all these down. Of course, because I'm filming, it's giving me a little trouble. Wipe down any excess glue that you had, because you don't want your book to stick to pages to stick to one another. Trying to remember. I like to put my other pockets opposite, and then try to remember what side goes where. Oops. Come on. Do you see how it's coming? Okay, so then this goes this way. Alright. So I don't know how many people here that follow my channel were in the Hurricane Florence, but I live in North Carolina and we were very lucky where I live. No water damage, no trees down, which I was very nervous because our house is in the woods and we're surrounded by trees. But I wasn't too worried so much about the water because we have good drainage around our house. I was just worried about trees. We have one dead tree that we need to remove, and the storm came up before we had a chance to do that, so I was worried about that tree, but it didn't fall, thank God. And I know a lot of people, oh, devastation, it's so horrible. Alright, so this is the last one. Now it's really quiet because my air conditioner just shut off. Alright. Why do you keep coming off of that? Alright, so last one, the glue. So it depends on how many bags you want or pages you want in your book. And you can add more. And you just gotta expand the spine piece. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so that's that. So now, and I did forget to cut one piece. I just remembered there's one other piece, because I don't know. No, I guess we could do, alright, never mind that. Okay, so now all your 4 pieces are glued. So now we need to add the spine to the book. And I got this piece. You can use a different color. This is kind of a brownish color. And this is cut at, I did have stickies. The spine is cut 3 inches by 4.5, and then you're going to put it on your scoreboard and you're going to score it at 7/8 and at 2 1/8, and that's going to be the spine that you glue down. So first we will glue the inside first. Make sure you put enough glue. And this is the little tricky part, because you got to make sure you flatten out everything. So what I would do is take your ruler or something and try to go where the gussets are and lay that down. Kind of flatten that, make sure that's flat. Now see, I didn't cut mine the whole length of the book. I left it a little short. You don't have to, you can cut it a little longer. Alright, so I would set this aside for a couple minutes just to let that back part dry a little before going on. So let's just move that to the side for a moment, and then the next thing you will need is your cover pieces. And like I said, I have a project sheet with all the measurements for this project. So the cover pieces, I chose this pattern. So you want something decorative if you want. I mean, it's up to you. But I got these two pieces, and I could use this side or that side, and I think I'm going to use the skulls. And they're cut at 5.5 by 5.5, and there's enough overlay. You could use material too, and like my other one, my first one I made, I did use material, but this one I decided to use paper. So you're going to need 2 of those. Then for the inside of the covers, you're going to need 2 mats that are cut at 4 by 4.5. And then for the pockets that I have on the inside of the front and back cover, you'll need 2 pieces cut at 3 inches by 4.5. And then you're going to score a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And then I used my 2-inch punch and cut a half circle there. You don't have to do that, but those are the pieces you're going to need next. So let's see how this is doing. Looks like it's pretty dry. So now what I want to do is glue this piece to the cover. Glue that down on either side. I think I got too much glue there. So I want to glue that down. I'm going to get a wipey. My finger's full of glue. You can't work with a finger full of glue. By the way, these wipes, Pure and Gentle, fragrance free. These are the best wipes that I like to use for projects because it's not soapy at all. It cleans, but it doesn't leave like a soapy, sudsy thing on your projects. And some other ones that I've used, I get upset because they leave marks. And soap, it's just not good for projects. So Pure and Gentle, and I got those at Walmart. So now glue the other side. Now I'm trying to do this all in one video. Like I said, I might not be able to. It depends on how long this goes. But I'm just going to step up to make sure I'm still recording, because sometimes I do not trust my camera. Alright, so that's that. I might shut the camera off and turn it back on in between, so if you see a little glitch, you'll know, because I want to try to do this all together. So it might be a long video, but alright, so if we weren't doing this, you know, like a tutorial, I would set this aside and let the spine piece dry. But because I'm doing this, I'm just going to go ahead to the next step. Alright, and you know what else I just thought of? These pockets, this pages, if you want your pockets, because you are going to glue them later, I would put them on, how can I explain it? Instead of having them on the cover, flip them over so you have them on the inside, because you know what, I just thought of that, and it's too late to change it, because now that I'm going to put my cover pieces on, these pockets are actually not going to be able to use them. And I just thought of that. So that's a boo-boo on my part. I should have realized that. So if you do want extra pockets, I suggest you flip the covers over so that you have this part of the paper on the cover. And then you'd miss the big photo mats. I don't know how. Anyway, you can figure it out, I guess. Okay, so let me check the camera one more time, because I think I'm going to shut it off at this moment and then we'll come back. Alright, I don't know, for some reason again today my camera's set at 20 minutes and I don't know why it does that, but I'm not going to fix it right now. So if I have to shut it off every 20 minutes, turn it back on, fine. Okay, so we got the spine and the pages together. So now we're going to get our page covers, page front and back covers. And I have my 2 set here, so which one do I want on the front? You think I want that one because that one's like right in the middle. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see, I want to leave some of the brown showing, so about half an eighth of an inch. So I'm just gonna put some glue. You can use double-sided tape, and I just went off the edge if you like, but I'm just gonna use my glue for now. And my hands, so I just want to leave a little bit of the spine showing. Make sure you have enough overlap on your sides there. So that looks about good. That I need to learn how to talk today. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm just gonna rub it down, burnish it, as people say. Okay, just gonna make sure it looks even on the spine. Okay, so now I'm gonna take scissors. I think I use these. And I'm gonna trim off the corners. Make sure you leave a little overlap. And you know what, I'm even gonna trim a little off the sides here, if you can see that. Hope I'm in camera. You know, I put this paper down so I can stay in the camera view, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. Now I'm going to fold these edges over. See how what I mean? You're going to lose that pocket. But I don't know if there's any other way of doing it. Yeah, you could save them by turning the bag the opposite way. Alright, so now I'm just gonna glue those down. Now on my other book too, I use, if you don't want your brown paper bag to show, I did use a black magic marker to cover about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. Just gonna glue this flap down. Sure it's down straight. Looks pretty good. I think I messed up on that corner, but nobody's perfect. Okay, so that's down. What I'm talking about is my book. See, on the edges I took a black magic marker and I went like 1/4 of an inch all the way around, so you know you can't really see much of the paper bag. You could do that if you like. This I left this color, just show you what I was talking about, the gusset. You can use black paper instead of the brown. So, but for this, I'm not gonna bother doing that. So on the inside cover, now I think I have to trim that corner because I didn't fold it right. So how did I do that? Anyway, I think I'm just gonna glue it down and worry about it later. So this I would, if you want to use your 2-sided tape. I'm just doing this quick. Yeah. See how you can see the brown, but for this this is just for the tutorial. See, I messed up on this corner, so make sure when you're folding over you don't do what I just did. Alright, so that's that size. Now make sure when you're covering the back cover, make sure you got it upside right if you got a decorative side, because I have done it many times. Put it on upside down and then I get real angry at myself for doing that. So I'm just going to put some glue down, and I'm going to check just to make sure I'm laying this down right. And the same as the front, I'm just eyeballing it. That looks good. Just going to flip this over, smooth that out. See, to me it looks like it's crooked. Alright. So I'm just going to trim off the sides again, the corners. I think I went too close with that one. Alright. Now I'm trying to be careful so I get that corner. Make sure I keep that corner. So, yeah, it's better than the front. There we go. Okay, so I'm gluing that down. These corners are a lot better than that front, but what I guess sometimes when you're moving along. Alright, so now I'm gonna put down that not photo mat, that inside cover. Alright, so that's the front. There you go, front and back up. Now see, I could take the marker later and go across like this just to darken it up. Do that on either side. You know, you could do that later. Alright, so now the next step, let me check my, okay. Next step is the pockets. So like I said, you need 2 of these pockets. Inside cover. What did I do with my pocket thing? The pockets are, where did I put that? Pockets 3 inches by 4.5, and of course you're gonna score around. I'm just gonna miter my corners here. Do that before I fold those pieces in. Alright, so oh, there's that piece of paper I was looking for. Crazy. So, folding these down. Okay, so making sure it's upright. Glue the pockets in. Now for pockets, I always mention it's a good idea to use glue for your pockets or your tuck spots, because if you're putting tags or whatever you're putting in there, tags, ephemera, you don't want your tags to stick to the sticky tape. because I mean, especially if you're giving away to someone or you're selling your product, whatever you're doing, you don't want it to stick to the tags, and then when the person goes to take it out, it's stuck. You don't want that. All right. I think I need to get a drink. I'm feeling dry. My throat's feeling dry. All right, come on. So. All right, so those are the 2 pockets. All right, so make sure those are down. Okay, so that's so far so good. My white paper keeps sliding away on me. All right, so before we go any further, these little flaps here, I want to tack down, so I'm putting some glue on that side and some glue over there, just like that, just to tack those 2 edges down, and go through and do that with all those. It should be 3 or 4, depending on how you laid your bags down. Could be 3, could be 4. Depends. I think there should be 4, I believe. No, maybe 3 on this one. So you'll have 3 or 4. It depends on how you glue your pages together. I didn't account for that. I'm sorry, because I didn't lay my pages down and exactly the way I did in the other book. So now I would let that dry a little bit, just so your pages don't get stuck. So then I'm going to put that aside for a moment. So the next thing we're going to be doing is the inside pages, and the main pages. Okay, and the main pages right here. So you're going to need 12 main pages, mats, or whatever you want to call them, and they're cut at 375 inch, 3.5. Oh, sorry, I'm not thinking right today. I think I need a vacation. 3 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Blah blah blah. I finally got that out. So they could be decorative pages, they could be plain colors that you want, but I'm trying to use up some scraps, so I have 12 of these different pages, and that will be our next step. And I'm going to pause this for a moment. All right, okay, so now you need 12 pieces of decorative papers cut at, what I say, 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. All right, so now you can use your double-sided tape for this part, and I'm not gonna put too much tape on mine because this is just a tutorial. All right, so, and you see how you have all that space. If you can color it black, I just didn't do it for this project. So I'm just going to go through the book and glue down my pages. And I think I'm actually going to pause the video until I have all this done and then come back. Alright, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to tape down all my pages. Okay, So now I put all my main pages on, and because of the way I glued my bags together, I actually had 13 full pages instead of 12, so I had to cut another piece. That might happen to you, and you just got to compensate for it. It's either going to be 12 or 13. It depends on how you glue your bags together. So the next step, which I don't know, should I continue? I have a few more minutes on this one. The next step would be, oh, you know what? Let's do this. The opening on the side of the bags, I would glue down. Let's do that. So go through and glue both sides down. It just makes a smoother page. Do that to every bag. It's one step I forgot to mention, but like I said, it depends on how you put your bags together. You'll have more or less of what I'm showing you, because it all depends on the bags. And I think after we do this, I'm going to stop it, and that will be part one. And I think I'm going to do this in 2 parts because I don't want the video to go too long. There'll be part 1 and part 2. I don't know, I might just do it all together because the next step, we're almost done. So, we'll see. I'll show you the next step. Alright. Okay, so after glue nose in, I would let that dry just in case you got some glue anywhere. I would let that dry for a couple minutes. So the next thing we're going to do is okay, oh, here we go. I probably am going to have to do this in 2 videos. Okay, so then you have these pages right here with the little pocket or tuck spot. So depending on how you glued your bags together, you're going to have 3, 4. I have 1, 2. I'm just counting 2, 3. I actually have 3 in mine, but you'll have 3 or 4 depending on how you glue your bags together. So I think I'm going to get rid of one of these orange pieces. And let's see, what do I have here? Alright, so these fold mats. Okay, so you're going to need 3 or 4 of these mats here that go on the pocket side. You're going to need to cut them at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then you're going to need this piece, which is cut 1 inch by 4 1/4, and then those are for the pocket side. Pocket, tuck spot. So we're going to glue those down or tape them down, however you want to do it. I love using my tape, but sometimes you can't use the tape. It depends on. Alright, my lovely camera turned off. At this moment I'm not sure where it turned off, but I'm going to go ahead with part 2 because I believe we were doing the pocket page side, And if you saw me do one, you know how to do them all. I'm so sorry that the camera turned off. I did not hear it. So what we're going to do next is the big photo mats that fit in these pockets. And depending on your bags, how you lay them, I always stress that you're either going to have 4 or you're going to have 3. You might even have more. I'm not sure. So, but the photo mats are cut. The large tag mat here is cut at 4.25 by 4.5, 4.25 by 4.5. Then the photo mats are 4 inches by 4 inches. And I used the brown cardstock that I have on the spine, just to give it a little match. And I used the purple mats. I didn't use decorative paper because I didn't want the background to take away from the photo or whatever. You don't want it to like stand out more than what you add to the page. So before I put them in the book, we're just gonna, now I round my corners on the top piece. I didn't do the bottom. And then on the photo mats, I round all the corners. Now this part where the round edge is going to stick out of the bag a little bit, not much. So when you glue or tape your photo mat down, you want it close to the edge, but not all the way. And just to leave this open up here. Okay, I don't know why I just did that, because it doesn't matter what side I use tape. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, so now I'm just gonna lay it down, try to eyeball so it's even on this side and that side. I cannot believe my camera shut off again. That is so aggravating. But you know what? I think it's because it has to do with the battery, and maybe the battery only had like 20 minutes left. And I should have put in a fresh battery. That really didn't tape down good, did it? Guess not. So down below I will have the link to the project sheet that you can print out. It's a PDF. I don't know if you have a PDF or not, but if not, you could, I don't know, how could I do it? Send it to your email as a regular thing. I don't know how I could do it, but it's in PDF format. Okay, so here's the photo mats, and these are gonna go in the bags, inside the bags, just like that. Now, I mean, I did Halloween theme, but these would make some really nice journals. And see, I need an extra mat because the way I did my mats, I have an extra, my bags, I have an extra. So I have to make an extra, which I'm not going to do. But, so see, I need 5 on this one instead of 4. But these would make some good journals. And I was even thinking, if you wanted to add some, like say make a junk journal, you could actually add like maybe 4 pieces of paper, you know, 2 pieces of paper folded in half, and sew it into the spine before you put this on, and then you can have a junk journal. So I might even do that for a journal. Okay, so those are the big mats. So now let me check this camera. Alright, I'm going to pause. I'm going to turn this off so I can put in a new battery so that we're all set. Alright, batteries all changed, so I think we're all set now. I'm so sorry, but that's the way the show bounces, or whatever you want to say. Okay, so we did our big photo mats inside the pocket. So now we're going to make the photo mat that slides inside the little tuck spot or pocket. So, and depending on how you, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, how you glued your pages together, you'll have more or less amount of pockets. So, and I did 4, but you could have 3, you could have 5. It depends on how you did your pages. So the photo mats are cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then you're gonna score at 2 1/4. Yep, 2 1/4 you're gonna score on each one, and that gives you, you know, you can fold this over. I can't remember, I think I have 3 in mine, but all right, I think I do have 3 in mine. So this is going to be the front that you're going to decorate, and this is where your photo mat and your journaling section goes. So according to what you use and how you tuck it in, your photo mat, it depends on if you want your pictures facing sideways, whichever way. So if you're using decorative paper like this is kind of, so if you take it out, the photo's going to be this, put down this way, and your journaling is going to be up there. But you want to make sure if you're using decorative pages that it's facing the right way. That's what I want to say, if you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, all right, so that one is gonna go down that way. Yeah, if anytime you use decorative paper, oh excuse me, make sure you know it's laying the way that you like it, because especially if you use this tape, once it's down, it is down. It's hard to pull back up. And then one journaling tag. Alright, so, and then once you're done, it slides this way. So depending on where this pocket is, you want to make sure when you decorate the front cover, it's facing the right way. You don't want it upside down. I mean, you could even do it this way, decorate so it's looking this way, if you know what I mean, but anyway. Okay, so that's that one. It's kind of purple, so I'm going to use this green one. And let's see. Oh, wrong side. Now see, this is kind of busy, but like I said, I'm using my scraps. And this one, all right, so it's facing that way. Okay, see what I mean? When you put the card in, you got to make sure if your decorative papers is right, because when you slide it in, you want to make sure when they open it, they can see it facing you, not upside down. I hope that makes sense, what I'm trying to explain. Some of this I use papers, some I use cardstock, but I'm trying to use up some scraps. And I think I put that on a little crooked. These were really fun to make. Oops. I've been wanting to do some paper bag journals, and so I just wanted to try this out. So that's purple. I think I'm going to use this green one again. I don't want to use purple on purple. I want to be different. And I think I will use these bats. A lot of these papers I didn't get from a pack. Somebody had given me a whole bunch of loose paper, and so I can't tell you where they got it. The only thing I could tell you, these journaling pieces I got from a pack that you get at Hobby Lobby. And that goes in here. I don't know, do I have no pocket notes? You see, I only have 3 in here, so that's extra. So that's the finished book, besides the tags, you know, decorations. But this is what I came up with, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And like I said, I'll leave a link down below for the project sheet, and I'll leave a link down below for my Facebook page, My Cardstock Creations. That way you can, you know, join that group if you like. You don't have to, but I would love to see your projects. Or if you do a video of your finished project, please send me the link, and I would like to watch the video also. I love to see, you know, what people do with the projects that I try to do for you, and I want to see your finished projects. I think it would be really interesting. So anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.